Welcome everyone to the final game of the Clutch Chess Legends 2025. We have Garry Kasparov on the board thinking about what to play. It's the final game. He has already won the event and has a 5-point lead over Vishy. The last game can maximally give you 3 points. So that means that Anand will not be able to surpass Garry or even match him. But still, the bragging rights are there. 13-8 is the score. If Kasparov wins, it will be 16-8, which will be a complete rout. And there you have a handshake. And if Vishy wins, it will be 13-11, which will make the final scoreline quite respectable. The previous game was the one where Vishy scored his first win. We are ready here. 5 minutes plus 3 seconds increment. Both of them are ready. Garry opens with b3, the move he played before. Now c5 played by Anand. And Garry plays pawn to e3. We have d5 capturing the center. And this actually resembles normal traditional chess with the b3 line. The bishop comes to b2. And Vishy is thinking about how to deal with this. He goes knight to c6. And Garry brings his bishop out to b5. We have pawn to f6. You can also play the move b6 to get your queen into the game to defend the knight. But f6 has the idea to expand in the center with pawn to e5. Garry is thinking about his move here. He has a few ways to respond. I think c4 is a very interesting move because you can't really play d4. I can take and take the pawn as the knight is pinned here. So maybe c4 is one option. The other option is short castling, also possible. You can maybe even bring out your knight to g3. So while Garry is thinking hard for his move, Vishy is kind of chilling a bit. I think since the result of the tournament has been decided, Vishy has lost any kind of nerves that he was having. You have pawn to f4 to stop e5 from coming in. But look at the time that Garry took. He took close to a minute for that decision. And now Vishy can play here. Pawn to b6. Also bishop g4 hitting the rook here. He brings his knight out to g6. And Garry plays knight to f2. He plays his knight out to f2. And Vishy goes e6, playing it calmly here. Now the only thing here that needs to be seen is how to bring the queen on a1 into the game. And Garry also has the opportunity to castle short or even castle long where his king would jump to c1. He goes knight to c3. And we have bishop d7 played, breaking the pin. And Garry is thinking now what to play here. Maybe g4, g5, maybe bishop comes back to e2. I love how Vishy is playing super quick, his moves. And Garry plays pawn to f5. He takes f5. Knight takes d5. And he's taken the pawn in the center and Vishy has long castled and so has Garry. Wow, what a position here. He brings his queen to b8. And now pawn to g3 played. So that the queen cannot capture this. It does feel like a super complex position. The knight can jump into f4. The other knight can go to d3 to f4. And now Vishy taking his time. Maybe bishop e6 can be played. He goes bishop to d6, finishing his development. Super complex now. We have only one pair of pawns traded. Garry has 2 minutes 54 seconds. And now, tough moment. You can play c4, knight d3, knight f4 also possible. I mean h4, h5 you would have wanted to, but the g3 pawn is a bit soft here. And so thinking about this position, Garry is really running low on time. He's down to 2 minutes. He needs to make a decision. And oh my god. And it shows that the position is super tough. He goes pawn to d4. And that's an interesting choice. Because in a way he is opening up his rook's path, also extending the influence of his bishop and queen. What will Vishy do next now? He has a 2-minute lead here. He can bring his rook into the center. He does it. Rook g8, king goes to b1 very quickly. This has been the thing about Garry. Once he makes a move, he thinks for a bit, he makes his next moves pretty quickly. So sometimes this time usage can be quite deceptive in that sense. Vishy goes knight to b4. Wow, what a move this is. Well, in a way, he's saying to Garry that after take, knight b4, cb4, he's happy with this structure. But Garry takes on d7, rook d7, and now the best move is to take on c5. He takes it, pawn takes c5. And we have now bishop takes c5, which must be taken. And then knight b4, bishop b4, rook d7, king d7 as a playable position. This does seem like slightly better for for white, but also you have to be afraid of certain themes like queen d4, threatening a mate and attacking the bishop. So yeah, need to be very, very careful at this point after d takes c5. So Anand is calculating there's another tactic which can be seen, which is bishop takes g3. Because if you take h takes, I'll take knight d5 and I'm completely fine. But then maybe to bishop, oh, he takes it. Bishop g3 is on the board. Garry quickly takes on b4, which is the best move. Bishop f2, rook d7. Garry has it all figured out, it seems. He takes on g1, which is also a good move. And now you can go c6, but also rook takes g7 is the best move. Garry is moving towards it, he takes it. With 1 minute 36 seconds, 2 minutes 20 seconds for Anand. They have reserved the best for the last. Amazing game. And now maybe Vishy should go queen h2, which is risky, but playable. He goes bishop e3. And now perhaps bishop c1, a very crazy move, because if bishop takes c1, I have queen d4, threatening a mate here, which is an incredible resource, but very tough to find to activate the queen. And look at Garry. He's like calculating there. He's getting a bit uncomfortable. He can snatch this pawn, but bishop h6, threatening rook e1, and bishop g7 is so powerful. So actually not so easy to decide what to do here. But yes, bishop c1 is the best move. And Anand is calm here. Garry goes down below a minute. Now, these are the positions that are so tough. He goes knight d3. The position is now equal. If Vishy manages to find queen h2, which is a tough move here, finds it. What a good move by Anand. And now Garry must. He goes a4. But this is a mistake because now you can just trade the queens and the resulting endgame is better for black. Will Vishy do that? Like look at this. Queen h1, king a2, trade queens and rook e7. And just play this position. You have like couple of extra pawns, maybe not too many extra pawns, but white pawns are doubled and on one side, black has 3 passers on the other side. Knight f4 played by Anand. Well, that seems to be a mistake because after knight f4, bishop f4, king a2, then you don't no longer can trade queens. He takes, bishop takes, and plays king a2. Great play by Garry. Queen takes c2 taken by Vishy. But now very important move needs to be found by Garry. Queen h1, he finds it. What a beautiful move by Garry. And Vishy goes queen e4, offering a trade. He takes on h7. Incredible geometry by the queen from a1 to h1 to h7. And the position is dynamically balanced. What champions, man, what champions. Tremendous. He goes bishop e5, offering a trade. And I think the safest move is to take maybe fe and then check and c6. And there should be enough play for white to hold this to a draw. Garry, who has just 37 seconds, is calculating here, is unable to keep his cool here. Gets a bit nervous, goes rook e7, which is a blunder. Because after rook takes e7, queen takes e7, just bishop b2 wins. He goes, takes queen e7, and there's also now queen e2, which is finishing off because of a very interesting pin. And if you try to give a perpetual check, king c6 check, now just king d5, and it's totally winning. This position, the king runs away, and there is a mate here. So queen e2, very important. But Anand, going with the queen, goes g2, and this is a mistake, because when the king tries to escape here, queen x b7 comes with a check, and you lose the queen. So once again, Garry has a draw here. He goes queen e8, check, king c7, check again, all good, all good. Vishy goes up with the king, now check on e6, king c5, but a mistake on c8, a check. He should have given queen e7 check. Now the queen can block, but he comes back, and once again this is drawish. This could be a draw potentially. It's difficult to calculate all the nuances here with just 20 seconds on the clock for Garry. Vishy has slightly more time, but it's so nervy here at this point. King c5, he gives a check. Oh, he doesn't leave the queen. He gives a check. Queen c8, and you want to block there. Yes, he blocks it. Queen f5 played. And now Vishy goes queen d5. Beautiful move, by the way, would have been queen g2, because with checks the king could have escaped to f5 and the pawn was there. And now Garry about to make his move. He was going to play something, queen c8, king b6, the checks are all gone. And black is winning. Black is maybe not winning, maybe better. Bishop takes c5, goes bishop c1, and he loses on time. Garry loses on time there.
No, I don't. I mean, it's decent. Yeah, but you then like my it's a good game that I was actually the game wondering. That's very interesting. Because he's somebody because I said 94, you castle d4, 92, e5 takes. I thought bishop f5, but then
it's almost not just that's the you want.
Yeah. And the problems are not equal. It's
no.
But then d3, d1, d1. Queen d1. Queen d1, you wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, because
Bishop f5, knight d3, knight d2. Queen d4.
yeah, but it's
No, queen d4. This is but I think you will just play king d. No, it's knight d3, you should find something else. I don't know. Like e3 or something. Yeah. No, then
but it's the fun. He says yes, but this is the first that's so. You should say.
Yeah.
I think it's curious. If I look at G, this is position G. You take on B2. No, this is because you take on G. No, you do not take only 5 on D7, but you can go to so I have to do it to propose. When you send me to A5.
Maybe also king c6.
It doesn't. Yeah, yes. So it was also like and it seems I have to crowd this somehow. So I got to clear house.
No, I wanted to play d3 and f4, and suddenly I saw d5, and I wanted to play, but then when you tried it, then I had to try d3 shot.
I thought just like I played d4, their first move, but then after d5, bishop f4.
C6 for knight g6 is
No, but bishop c7, bishop d3, knight g6.
Yeah, no, I consider this
d3, and then d5, it's a very difficult fight.
No, I get the position. What's the knight about?
This is still it's just interesting.
Yeah, because it's a second.
Yeah, but my knight is only 4. That's what's interesting. Bishop d3, taking 2 here, which is correct because I always pull the moves.
Bishop d4.
Yeah,
No, but after bishop d3, I can obviously that I would.
yes, but it's the only way this is definitely for wins. Okay, I go here.
Your rook is on.
So this is position.
Yeah.
No, this is
So I played before.
Whoa.
You did the same.
You take a queen c7.
And yeah, take
Also, yes.
Okay, I don't know, c6, wait, c6, rook d7. And then knight c6, what am I going, queen a8? Okay, then what am I going?
One point here, of course. That's the problem.
So then this is
This position was too good here to be true. So okay, you.
No, you played a4, but I played before. Oh no, I played before.
You play a4, yes. Before this guy, this is simple. When you see this is 27, you do my rook. Here. So this you took this.
Yeah. I don't know, king d7, e6, and transfer, and nobody knows bonds, but
Gentlemen, I'm so sorry to break this. We have a show we have to conclude. You guys can analyze it after this. If I may, Rexingfield is here. Gary, congratulations. Gary, congratulations on winning the match. Thanks for the comeback. Very important. And congratulations on conclusion of clutch chess.
Yes. And I'll congratulate Maurice for coming up with this concept.
Yep.
Gary, if we may, I'm going to make it downstairs so we can do the final interview. And you're still talking chess. These champions cannot stop themselves.
Also, I have another idea. I can come back in at 6, which can be 4. So you have to go with 7 or bishop f6 will get one come. So if you come here, I can go 95, but then you get out. If I take this, just means no, king c3 still I'm making.
So if I take here,
If I take the rook, queen f6, and the king 1 king c3 is getting.
so this is the bishop before you let's
Sure.
let's get which one?
We're going to bring it down.
Yes.